How we doing, guys, and welcome back to Jacked Up. Today we're going to be taking an old-fashioned comfort food classic and putting a healthier twist on it. So we're going to be making a cottage or a shepherd's pie. So usually that's a meat and vegetable base topped with mashed potato and then cooked off in the oven. The original does taste great, but I do have a few amendments to it, just in terms of maximising the micronutrients that we get from it, as well as getting our protein and carbohydrates from much better sources. So this dish is going to be great for meal prep if you're doing that, or just as dinner or lunch. So for our meat and vegetable base, we're going to need 1 onion, 2 cloves of garlic, 2 carrots, a small eggplant or aubergine, a zucchini, 1 red capsicum, and I've got 2 large portobello mushrooms there too. So we'll also need 1 kilo of kangaroo mince, 1 beef stock cube dissolved down in about a cup of boiling water, about 120 grams of tomato paste, as well as some mixed herbs. And for our mashed potato topping, we're going to be using about 1 kilo of sweet potato. As you can see, I have left the skins on, and that's because the skins are quite nutrient dense and they do taste great. You're also going to be using just a small amount of milk just to bind it all together, and I've got some garlic powder there too. So don't be too worried, guys, about the amount of ingredients that is in this dish. It is really simple. It's just going to be a matter of basically throwing everything all in together. As well, if there are some ingredients here or are some vegetables that you're not really a fan of or haven't really tried or don't have access to, don't be afraid to pick them out and put in something else. So into a pot of water, we are going to chuck in a little bit of salt. And then in goes our sweet potato. So what we want to do now is bring that up to the boil. When the sweet potato is close to being cooked, it starts to float, and it should be easily squashed with a fork or potato masher. And then into our pan, we're going to start sauteing up our vegetables. So starting with the onion and the garlic. Just going to brown them up a little bit. Then one by one, we want to start putting in the rest of our vegetables, but starting with the hardest vegetables first. So next we're going to chuck in our zucchini and our eggplant. And then finally our red caps, as well as our mushrooms. So before we chuck our meat in, we're just going to put in a little bit of that stock, just to flavour the veg. Alright, then in goes our meat. So just when using mince, make sure you break it down a lot. And obviously make sure you cook it all up evenly. Alright, so our meat's almost completely cooked. So now we're going to chuck in the final ingredients. So the rest of that stock, tomato paste, and our herbs. I'm also a big fan of pepper, so I'm gonna grind some into there, bring it all together. If you are a fan of it as well, guys, you can chuck in some red wine. So once this is all stirred through, I'm gonna put the lid on, let it reduce a little bit, and then work on the mashing of the potato. Alright, so as I said, when the sweet potato is ready, it starts to float, and you can just mash it down with a fork with ease. Alright, so that's ready to come off. Then we're just going to drain them. And then straight back in the saucepan, ready for mashing. So nothing fancy when it comes to mashing. You can make them as coarse or as soft and smooth as you like. And a bit of milk. Don't do it all just yet. Chuck in your garlic powder, and then season depending on how much you like. Not really a fan of salt, so I'll leave that one out. So another thing you could add in there may be cheese, but just bear in mind that with more cheese comes more fat. And the skins mash up really nicely as well, guys. Adds a bit of extra texture to the dish. Looking pretty good. And that's looking great too. And so now all we have to do, guys, is assemble it. It's really quite simple. Just take your meat mix and pour it to the bottom of the baking tray. got about halfway up. Make sure it's even. And then all you're gonna do is you're gonna take some globs of sweet potato. Before you spread it out, just put them on the top, just like that. And then just spread it out, just around the top. All right, so again, you can top it with some cheese or some extra herbs and spices, that sort of thing. But we're just gonna put that straight in the oven. All right guys, so the pie's been in the oven for about 20 minutes now, looking and smelling great. So we'll take it out. There we go guys, sweet potato and kangaroo shepherd's pie is done. Depending on how hungry you are, you're probably going to get about 6 to 8 serves out of this. Full of fresh veg, absolutely loaded with micronutrients and vitamins and minerals. And because we use the kangaroo, it's extremely high in protein, really low in fat. So give it a try, let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and always like and subscribe. Take care guys.